Ooh, well, the continuing adventure is, where does Little Bad Wolf live? You know, we haven't figured out yet where Little Bad Wolf lives. And the boys and girls, they found a new path that was hardly used because it was so narrow. Only one person could go down the path at a time. They're already kind of widening that path a little bit because they've been out there so many times now. They love that big tree that they found. Remember the big tree that they found? They can all sit up there and read their books and everything. And so at breakfast time, and today's breakfast, Mommy Pig fixed blueberry pancakes. She fixed blueberry pancakes, and oh my gracious sakes, blueberry pancakes is one of GrandMommy's favorite pancakes. Wished I had some right now. Well, anyway, she said to the boys, she says, now when you guys get together today, she says, I've got a surprise for Patty Pig and Sally Skunk. She says, so make sure that you remember to tell them and bring them in the house. So they said, yes, ma'am, they would. And okay, my crew member just drew blueberry pancakes. Thank you very much, dear. And I hope they taste as good as they look. So they ate their breakfast and they went outside and they were waiting for all the boys and girls to show up. And now, who was in the group that showed up the last time? Do anybody remember? It was the three little pigs, of course, and it was, that's not it. Okay, it was, I'm sure, Sally Skunk and Patty Pig and Allie the Alligator and Little Bad Wolf. And I think that was all, right? So they told Patty Pig and Sally Skunk, oh, our mama's got something for you. So go in and let's see what she got for you. And Patty Pig says, oh, okay. And so they went inside, and guess what Mommy Pig had made for them? For just the girls. She made them a bag to put all of their stuff in. So they wouldn't have to carry. You know, little boys' pants have got pockets all over them, and they can stuff everything in their pockets. But little girls, they have to carry a bag because they're little girls. So this bag, now what did the bag have on it? It had, remember, put a rope in it. We put a flashlight in. We put their book for the day. And we put
swimsuits on. What?
Swimsuits, that's right. Well, most of the kids had swimsuits already on underneath their clothes. And Patty Pig and Sally Skunk says, oh my goodness gracious. And Mommy Pig says, now there's little pockets for some of the stuff so that you don't fall down to the bottom, like the flashlight. You got to find that in a hurry. So I made a little pocket, just fits the flashlight. Oh my goodness gracious, that's so good. And Mommy Pig says, now I also made this strap where you could put it over your shoulder and down to your side, and that way you can run and you won't have to worry about it all falling off and everything. Oh, the girls were so excited over that, and it was so pretty. It was all different colors because Mommy Pig took all of her leftover material and sewed it all together. Oh, it was beautiful. So off they go, and somebody says, bring them on camera. Was that you? Anyway, they I'm sorry, we're distracted today. Our audience is not paying attention. So anyway, they said, are we going to go to that tree bushy thingy? Are we going to go and see what we can find with that? And the three little pigs says, yeah, let's go and do that. And Little Bad Wolf says, do we have to go there again? And Sally Skunk says, I want to go up in that tree again. That was so good. So here comes Mama Pig with sandwiches wrapped up in wax paper and in a Ziploc bag. And she even had bottles of water for them. She said, I don't know where this little tree bushy thing is, but she said, I think that you all need to take your lunch today. So they took their lunch and off they go. So Patty Pig says, I'd kind of like to go to that nice tree too. That tree was awful nice. Well, as you know, boys and girls, there was a good tree beside the bush thingy bush, whatever it is. But that biggest tree was just a while before that. So they got to that nice tree, that good tree first. So they all climbed up the tree, and of course, remember what they did? Well, Sadie Skunk wasn't there this time, so Little Bad Wolf didn't have to put Sadie Skunk in his overall bib. So that was okay. He carried Sadie Skunk up the tree in his overalls. That's right there. So he didn't have to do that today, and so they all got on their right places where they like to go. And Little Bad Wolf went all the way up to the top so he could see out all around, remember? And then Squiggly was at the very bottom of the tree where he could peek through the leaves, because this tree was so bushy with leaves. Oh my gosh, you could look up that tree and you couldn't even see anything up that tree. It was the perfect hiding place. Was it ever fun? And they all read their books. Well, here comes lunchtime, and they finally ate their lunch. And Allie the alligator says, I think we need to go by the bushy tree thingy again, one more time. Let's just go by and check it and see if any footprints has been there, or maybe there's a new branch on top of it or something. Let's just go check it out and see if anything is going on. So Little Bad Wolf says, okay, let's go. And they all climbed down the tree, and they all got in line. These kids are so funny. They all walk the same. They walk Piggly, Wiggly, and Squiggly, and the Little Bad Wolf, and Patty Pig, and Sally Skunk, and Allie the alligator. Because Allie the alligator is real fast, and he's the lookout. He's the guard in the back. And Piggly he's the lookout in the front whenever he remembers to look for anything. But Piggly, he just likes to look around at everything else, and he just forgets that he's supposed to be watching for maybe snakes crossing the trail, or maybe
a squirrel.
A squirrel, yeah, So he kind of forgets. But anyway, they got to the tree bush, the bushy tree thingy, whatever it's called, and there was no tracks, but there was a new branch with some leaves on it there that they didn't remember from yesterday. So they didn't know how that got there. But they thought, well, maybe the wind blew it there. So they walked on around, and you remember where this path ends up at. Where does the path end up at? Do you remember? At Mr. Farmer Brown's backyard, yes. And so they went by, because they always wanted to go and say hello to Mr. Farmer Brown, because he was so nice to them. And Mrs. Farmer Brown was nice, of course. And so Mrs. Farmer Brown saw him coming, and she said, just the who I've been wanting to see. She said, how did you boys and girls know that I have just got through making some ice cream? And I have a special treat for you. Did you have your lunch? And hi, Kathy. Did you have your lunch? And they all said, yes, we did. But we'll take dessert. And so she got out. Now, how many was there? There was 3 little pigs. There was a Little Bad Wolf. There was Sally Skunk. and there was Patty Pig, and there was Allie Alligator. How many is that? 7. Okay. She got 7 glasses out, and they looked at her, and Piggly whispered to Wiggly, and he says, I thought we were going to have ice cream. Why is Mrs. Farmer Brown getting out glasses? Squiggly says, be quiet. Just watch. We'll learn. Well, Little Bad Wolf, he already knew, because Mrs. Farmer Brown one time invited him in one afternoon, and he already knew what was coming, and he was going yum, yum, yum. His tummy was just going around. Oh, he couldn't wait for it, because he knew what the surprise was. So here she comes with her ice cream that she had made, and she put ice cream in each one of the glasses. Ice cream in a glass? We can't drink this ice cream. And Allie the alligator says, do we eat the glass and everything? What's going on? And so she goes and puts the ice cream back in the freezer. And what does she come out with next? A great big bottle of root beer. And she poured root beer in each one of the glasses. And do you know what that's called, boys and girls?
Root beer float.
That's right, a root beer float. And is that ever good? Well, Piggly, Wiggly, and Squiggly, they had never had one like that, and they just thought that was just wonderful. And then Allie the alligator says, oh, I'm going to tell my mama about this. We're going to have some every day. And Mrs. Farmer Brown says, well, now every day now you would get kind of tired of it. This is something that you have special. Okay. So Mr. Farmer Brown came out about that same time. He had been out working in the field as usual. He just got the garden finally planted because he had had so many interruptions. And he said, hi, boys and girls, how are you doing today? And so they said, just fine. And so he said, what'd you do? And they told him what they had done. They had read their books in the big tree, and they went by the bushy thingy, tree thingy, whatever it's called. And he said, oh, you did? And they said, yeah, and we found a new branch that had been laid over the tree and kind of, woven into it a little bit. Oh, you did? Well, maybe, okay, well, that's good. And Little Bad Wolf was looking at Farmer Brown, and he was trying to figure out what Mr. Farmer Brown was talking about. So it got close to supper time, and so Piggly, Wiggly, and Squiggly says, okay, we're going to go home now. I think we need to go home. And so off down the path they went, and they got to the bushy tree thingy-jiggy, and they walked on, and they got to the big tree, and they said, goodbye, big tree. We really like to sit in your branches. And they walked on home. And when they got to the 3 little pigs' house, they looked around, and Little Bad Wolf wasn't with them. When did he leave? Because the path that he always takes to go home is right over there. And they knew it went down a little ways and then it turned, but they didn't know where it went after that. And they knew Allie the alligator went this way, and Patty Pig and Sally Skunk went this way. Wonder where Little Bad Wolf is. Well, in the meanwhile, Little Bad Wolf had doubled back, and he went to Mr. Farmer Brown's house. And he says, Mr. Farmer Brown, can I talk to you for a little bit? And Mr. Farmer Brown smiled, and he knew what was going to be said. And he says, okay, Little Bad Wolf, what do you want to talk about? And Little Bad Wolf says, well, he said, Mr. Farmer Brown, I don't want anybody to know where I live because, I'm an orphan. And I don't have a house, and I don't have a mama and a daddy, And so I just don't want anybody to know where I live. And Mr. Farmer Brown says, yes, I understand that. And he said, so and Mr. Farmer Brown says, I know where you live. And Little Bad Wolf says, oh, you do? And Mr. Farmer Brown says, yeah. He said, but that's okay. He says, I will not tell anybody where you live. And Little Bad Wolf says, thank you, Mr. Farmer Brown. Now, boys and girls, we got one more chapter to this story, and it is going to be very exciting. So, Wednesday, I hope to see everybody back to finish up Where Does the Little Bad Wolf Live? And that's all for now. Bye-bye.